So the reason why I'm saying some of these explosions are good right now is because when you look at some of the daily, well, IUDs is all right, but if you look at, for example, USD CAT on the daily, it was consolidating for a while. It was in this box. So we've been buying this thing like a lot of times in this range. So eventually, you know, we were expecting a break. So this thing broke finally. We're kind of going into a downtrend. Overall, we're still bullish. It looks like we're hitting some support now. So you can see we have some support here, but we'll see how this develops. It's really hard to say right now, but it's good that we're kind of getting out of these ranges, because it's very hard to trade in these ranges. You know, your movements are limited, but if you catch some of these trends once it starts going back up, that's going to be really juicy profits once it's on the bottom and we can take the buy position. And because its macro trend is bullish, we should see some bulls coming in again soon. So this is just one example. Like if you look at, I think primarily all USD pairs were consolidating for quite a bit. I know USD JPY was really, look at this, the last, like this whole, when these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like the last 10 days was just consolidating this box. So, you know, if you see consolidation like that, you know, you should just stay out of the market. It's not really worth taking anything. If we look at the DXY, the DEX, the US dollar currency index, it was in the same box, right? So we've been playing this box for a while, and we're making profits for weeks on this thing. But now you can see it broke out. So there's just like a small trend change. It doesn't mean the macro is changing. It just means, you know, on the short term, we might see some more bears, and then potentially some bulls again soon. So we broke the support. Let's look at the 4-hour. Looks like we're hitting some support again. So this is not a major support, but it might turn into one. So we'll see how that develops. The next big support is over here on 97. So if this support breaks and it goes to 97, I mean the other USD pairs are going to keep falling too, and pairs like AUD, Euro, they're going to keep moving up. So we'll see how it goes. So this could be a potential support zone, but this is good because then once this hits, I mean, we're going to have a pretty good bull run from there again, unless there's some kind of fundamental thing impacting this, like a war or something, like civil war. You know, guys don't, in the US, they've been having some riots. So we'll see how that plays out. That's why you've been seeing these irrational moves, because the US currency is just dropping right now. So we'll see how it plays out. You know, but the good thing is we're out of the range. So right now we're gonna go back into trends. So that's one positive thing to look at. And I think lots of you were talking about USD CAT hit an extension too, I think. Yeah, so we'll probably see a retracement on this. It's extension 1, and then maybe even back to this support, which is now turning into neutral. Because we broke this huge consolidation here too. And preferably, what we could see is price go all the way back. Well, for here to hit this point for sure at some point. If this neutral level still holds, so we're gonna go back to test this level. That'll be really cool. And then you can probably short it from here again once it hits this level. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing. So we'll see how it plays out. It's just Monday, so I mean, things could change, right? It's only Monday, so Mondays are usually not the best day to trade, because the market is just setting up for the week. So we could see price going back up tomorrow or Wednesday, and then continue its trend on Wednesday, or have a midweek reversal to go bullish again. Okay, Mohammed is asking, so could you explain the place of the dots which show is each dot a certain time frame? Yeah, so I can quickly go over the basics of X mode. So let me find a little cleaner setup where I can explain it properly. Trying to find something good that's very clean so I can explain it properly. So I guess this one will do. It's not perfect, but it'll do. So X mode has multiple columns or I guess X1 has three rows. So this is our first row, is going to be our resistance. And then we have our support down here. And then we have a neutral zone in the middle. So price usually, you know, respects these three levels. There's always some type of reaction we can get out of these levels. Just now, because the market and structure is shifting a little bit, we see that the levels are also shifting. So this is our major resistance. We can see that because all of these were filled with R's. Right now, there's an N popping up here, but they were all R's. So this is a major confluence resistance because all the way on the left we have an R. So the column on the left, that's your highest confluence, your highest column of, or your well, how should I say it? This column has the highest confluence. Yeah, maybe that's a better way to put it. This column has the highest confluence, and it's based on all time frames. So the high, low, like the whole thing. If you go down to the right, this is the column with the lowest confluence. So if I go into like a lower time frame, maybe I can find an example. So you can see here, you can see these ones over here. You can see we have two S's here, but there's none on the left-hand side. That means, you know, this is a level, but it's more easy. It's easier to break this level than this level up here. So that doesn't mean that level is going to break all the time. It just means it doesn't have that much data yet to make this a high probability level, unless you're trading like the low time frames. Then it has a little more confluence, because you can probably, you know, take a buy off here and then back to the neutral level here. But I would just stick to the major confluence levels. So those are your best levels. So you can see on the right hand side how you have an N here and an S here and then also an S here. So even though this is still our support, this thing, or I guess I could say that this resistance is slowly turning into neutral. So we can see how these R's are getting removed. That means this resistance might potentially turn into a neutral zone. And then this could be our new support potentially. And then our new resistance would be up here. So you can see the market shifting a little bit from resistance, this turning into neutral, and then this neutral turning into support. Right now, this is still resistance. This is not a support. This is not a neutral level. This is still resistance. We can see the R's are still in control. So this is not something you want to buy just yet. If this thing turns into like a full neutral zone on the 1 hour maybe, and then that would be a better place to buy. Preferably, we want price to come back down into a support over here or down here, and then we could take it up as a buy. So that's one thing a lot of traders, like, that's one mistake they make. They buy into resistance, even though they should be selling resistance. So we can see it broke and retest and went up, but if you look at the high time frame, there's still some potential for this to go down back to a neutral level. Watchlist name is primary. Is your primary? Yes, these are my primary pairs that I'm trading right now. And I'm day trading, so I'm not swing trading. So if you're swing trading, this list would look different. You would have more variety. I have a lot of USD pairs and GPY just because I'm day trading, so I don't need a lot of variety. Because most of the pairs move the same anyway, so I only have to pick one or two every day, like the best ones. So is it left to right daily, 1 hour and 50 minutes, or from left to right, the strength of a level? So don't base these on the time frame. That's the wrong way to look at it. They use different time frames to come up with these levels, and there are different points of confluence, but these don't indicate a specific time frame. Look at these more as confluence. So confluence, you know, the more confluence you have, the higher probability of a level holding. And the one on the left being the highest confluence. So it's a major resistance basically. So I don't like to say it's based on exactly one time frame. It uses all time frames to come up with this. I hope that answers the question. One thing that mainly confuses me is the placement of the dots because they change as you go through the time frames to indicate the strength. If it shows R and N, it is a strong chance that it is resistance. So if it says RNN, it means that, you know, this resistance is slowly turning into a neutral zone, but it's still a resistance. So there's a high chance it will break, but it doesn't mean you should buy from there. You wanna wait for that thing to turn into full neutral zone or full support. That'll be the best way to do it. Of course, you can still buy it and make profit off of that, but it wouldn't be the highest confluence. And these dots, like these dots you see here, these small ones, those you can just ignore, like the ones all on the far left. That's just to easier spot these levels. Because you wouldn't have these, it would be little harder to read the levels. So this is just to make it easier on your eyes to see what's going on. Let me read that question again. So it shows nothing on the far left, but only two or one dots. This means confluence not strong. Yes, that's right. So, you know, on the 1 hour, if let's say a price would come back down under this resistance, you know, we could see bounce here off this support, and then from there it could drop into our next level, right? Or let's say price comes down. Let me delete this. Or let's say price comes down. You know, we see further touches on this support and doesn't tend to break it. Then we could see this support turning into a higher confluence level. And then, you know, price can go back up. But if we look at, maybe let's look at the 4 hour on this. So if you're trading the 4 hour, that level doesn't even show up here. So if you're just focusing on the 4 hour and there's no level here, you know, there's a high chance that if this resistance gets rejected, it'll come all the way down back into this neutral level. Yeah, it has some power, but it's, so the way I use those is, for example, if I would take a short here, and this, let's say this is my primary target, I would make this middle level my TP1 and this my TP2. So for example, on this, so this is a crypto trade. Sorry, let's look at this BTC one. So this is a BTC trade. I took this retest on the neutral level, and we can see it's going up. This is going to be my TP1, and then this up here is going to be my TP2. Because on a daily, we don't have that middle zone, middle level, so it can go all the way up to the top level up here. But just to secure profits, I'm going to take my first TP here. Now, what about if it inverts where the 2S are on the left, but not on the right? This now means that there is strong confluence. Are you talking about the BTC chart or still the other one? Well, that if these two ends are on the left, that would indicate this is probably it would be a 100% alignment. I mean, this whole row would be filled with ends. I don't think I've seen where there's just two ends on the left. Usually then it's the whole row. So if I go into the 1 hour, So we have 3 ends here. So as long as price is trading above this end, it's good place to buy into this resistance. So this could turn into a 100% alignment neutral zone. Right now it isn't, but it could. We'll see how it plays out. On the 1 hour, so these 2 hours are, that's a good resistance. Well, not the best, but it's a decent one. So we can see how price was rejected here a couple of times. Or do you mean this top one? Okay, yeah, this is a pretty good resistance because we have this this circle R. When I was said I haven't seen 2 ends on the left. That's just for the neutral level. For these R's, you'll see those quite a bit. 2 ends on the left you don't see as often, but these 2 R's you see often. So this R, this level is just my TB1, so you can see it's a 75% alignment level on the 4 hour, and on the 1 hour it's this level. And then we have extensions up here, which I think are going to break because they already basically played out once. So hoping BTC is going to go up to almost 10K again. But first we'll take this one, 9,600. Very often the algo will start filling the nice big gaps between one high area of confluence and another. What do you do if you already have an open position? Well, if you took the trade, there's a reason why you took the trade. So that means there was a setup there. So if you have a setup open, you let it hit TP1. So you let it hit TP or stop loss. If you have experience trading, then you could see where you can get out and then sell it when it reaches that next level. So it depends on your experience. If you're trading strategy mode, I would just follow strategy mode. If you have some experience trading, then you can lay over X mode and then trade X mode with it, and then take setups based on that alongside the strategy mode. So if you have experience, you can close the trade if you want. It's just the problem with that is, and why we encourage people not to close trades and drawdown, is because it starts to form a habit. So every time you see drawdown, you're going to think, oh, I have to close this trade, I'm going to lose it. But then what it does is it creates a bad habit, and then you're going to be closing trades too soon, like pretty much a lot. That was one of the mistakes I made when I started trading. Is when I was in drawdown, I always closed my trades, and that would just add up to too many losses, instead of just letting it run, letting it breathe, and having a set stop loss. So the stop losses on strategy mode, they're placed in a specific way where price has a high probability of return of going back to the entry, and that allows you to close the trade at break even. Of course, that doesn't mean you're never going to hit stop loss. You're going to hit stop loss sometimes, and that's okay. That's part of trading. It's just, if you close a trade before it hits the stop loss, you're going to be closing it at a loss. You're not going to give the trade yourself the opportunity to close that break even. So as long as you're not overexposed and you're not risking too much, like, you shouldn't have a problem hitting stop loss, because you're only risking 1 to 5%. Of course, if you have 20 positions open and they're all moving into the same direction, they all hit stop loss. They all hit stop loss at the same time. I mean, that's going to be a big loss. So don't open too many things. Stay cool. Stay. You don't have to open too many positions, especially in days like this. Like, stuff pretty much moves the same, so you don't need the full watch list of all the minors and majors and take all the trades it gives you. So Barry, to answer your question, I kind of went on tangent. I would just let it run. You know, we've had waves like this before where everyone was in drawdown, and then, you know, with a week later, everyone was either back to break even or in profit. So, you know, we've had waves like this before. It's just part of trading. Every once in a while, we have these waves where price goes against us. It's important you don't close a trade before it hits stop loss. And like I said, as long as you're staying within your risk and you're not opening too many things, you shouldn't be worried about a 5% loss. So that's my opinion. Okay, gotcha. So when you're in profit, sorry, meant was when you're in profit, for example, moment there is no real intermediate levels in the Bitcoin trade, but that can soon feel it. So okay, let me go to Bitcoin. Yeah, so I'm in profit right now, and my TP is up here. So I'm gonna wait for it to hit that TP1, and then I'm gonna take half off. Right? Does that make sense? Not quite sure if I understand your question fully. So if I already have an open position, I'm just gonna leave that position run. I'm not gonna add another one. Well, on the daily, it has a pretty good run to the resistance, but I'm primarily trading the 4 hour. So my first TP1 is going to be here. Just because if it's resistance, you don't want to necessarily buy into resistance. That's why I say I'm going to close half my resistance, move my stop to break even. And then, you know, if I get lucky, then I can take it up to the next resistance. If it goes down again into this level and it holds, I'm going to buy again into this resistance again. And, you know, I'll do this a couple of times until this resistance breaks. It goes to this top resistance, or it goes down into my support, which then I would get stop to break even, of course. So then if it's down here, I would look at, okay, is it going to break this? Is it going to hold? If it holds, then we're going to take it up back into my neutral support, into my neutral level. So yes, on the daily, it has a pretty good run, but I'm mindful of the 4 hour as well, because, you know, there's a resistance, and, you know, if there's a resistance, price is going to get rejected. It's a high chance price will get rejected. So I'm just looking for ways to manage my risk, take what I need off the table, and then try to find ways to still maximize my profits. The reason why I move it to break even when I hit TP1 is because when it comes back down, I don't know if this level will hold, right? So I'm not going to just go enter a buy when this level hits. Like, that would be stupid. I'm going to wait for a confirmation and then take a buy. So like I'd rather hit break even than go all the way to my stop loss, right? So if I see confirmation on this level, I'm going to buy it again. If there's no confirmation, I'm not going to buy it. What if another line or two appears between the TP1 and TP2? There might be, there's a low probability that will happen, just because if you look at the daily and the 4 hour, shouldn't much be happening there. There might be something popping up here, but it's going to be a low confluence level, so it's probably going to get broken. Or if something does show up, what it'll do is it'll go up here, hit the new level, come up down here again, and then go back up to the next level. But, you know, you guys are making assumptions. Trade what you see. So right now I'm seeing this, I'm going to trade this, right? There's no reason to come up with assumption. I know you guys are asking questions, you want to learn more, but just for your own trading, Like don't make assumptions. Like trade what you see. If you see resistance and you think it's going to break resistance, don't buy the resistance because there's resistance and you're seeing resistance. If you see support and you think it's going down to break your support, don't sell it because it's still on support, right? So trade what you see, not what you think. This algo really gives you a really good, clear view on what price is going to do. Of course, you'll have times where levels get broken, but most of the time these levels are going to hold. So trade what you see, not what you think. Okay, let me look at lots of questions. Let me quickly review these. Could we maybe do some replays? Yes, we can do some replays. I actually wanted to do replays today, so I don't want to. Let's move into replay, and then we can answer more questions as we go. Which pair do you guys want to trade in replay mode? USD, sure. I'm basically beating this question to the ground, but the positions of the support, resistance, neutral are getting more and more clear. I have one more. 2 R's on the left are stronger than 2 R's on the right. The position of these R's are basically only because of confluence strength. Yeah, so it's based on a bunch of data on all time frames and in the history. So it calculates the best levels for you based on the confluence it finds in the market, based on price. And like I said, the ones all the way on the left, those are your highest confluence. If you go further to left, those are your lower confluence. But these, like for example, this S, that could still turn into a more higher confluence level for like later on, right? As price goes on, as this level gets tested more, the algorithm is going to calculate, the strength of that level. But like I said, trade what you see, not what you think. So right now, this is a low confluence level, so there's a high chance it'll get broken. So the problem with breakout trades, Dylan, is then you're going to be, most of the time, if you're trading a breakout, you're going to be selling into support or you're going to be buying into resistance. So it's not always the best case unless you're going with the trend, then it's different. So maybe I could look for an example, but I want to get into replay a little bit. We can discuss that in the dojo later if you want. Okay, I'm gonna move into replay because last week I promised we're gonna do some replay. So give me a date that you want to go to, preferably like not like in the last week or two, preferably like months ago. That'd be best. February 11th. Okay, sounds good. Let's find that. February. Okay, there you go. So right now market is in downtrend. Let's look at the daily. Oh, let me turn off all this new stuff. I don't need that on my chart. Okay. Okay, so we broke this neutral level. Neutral level, so you can buy and sell depending on what price does. But we're nearing a support here. So let me draw this neutral level. And then let me also draw this support. And then we got our resistance up here. Let's go back to the 4 hour. So we're gonna trade these 3 levels. Okay, we got a support here, but doesn't look too strong. Let's see what happens. I guess we can take this extension trade. Let me quickly look at the daily first. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to take this. It's too bearish. Okay. So let me check out my new support. There was one down here, I believe, somewhere. There it is. So this is my new support. This is going to be my nearest neutral zone. So just to note, this is what you guys want to avoid. You can see there's so many levels here, and it's not very clear as to what is what. You can see an N and an R here, an R there, S and N here, another support there. So like this, you can just skip. And the good thing about replay is we don't have to be patient. We can just skip ahead. So now we have a good breakout into this resistance. So let's see how price reacts. We've got a gap over the weekend. That sucks. So we're not going to take that. Okay. So this is what I mean. Like, for example, now we have a break above resistance and we can see it's retesting it, but I'm not going to buy this just because it broke it. I want to see price trading above it. So this is where now the buyers of this level would get stopped up. Traditional retrade traders think that because this broke, this is now support, but then we can see price went below resistance again and probably hit their stop loss, depending on the trader. But that used to be me, so I'm talking about myself. That's so now we have a better trend, so we can see these higher lows, 3 higher lows. So let's see how price develops. So now we can also see it turn into neutral zone. So now this is where we can look into buying this thing. So I have a nice engulfing candle. I'm going to put my buy position here. Stop loss below this level. Let me go into the 1 hour. If it works, yeah. So I'm going to look at the levels in the 1 hour, see where I can put my stop loss. So I'm going to put it below this level, maybe here. Let's look at the risk to reward ratio. 1.5, that's fine. Look at the daily as well. So we can see an okay uptrend, lots of bull candles. We might see another retest on the way down, and then potentially go back up here. So let's see how it plays out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a buy limit here. So this is a buy limit. So I want price to come back down and then take it up. So buy limit triggered. Well, almost, not quite. But now it hit our TP. And now it's in our neutral zone. We marked up on the daily. Actually, it broke it. So let's see what happens. We can see, we go back to the 4 hour. Looks like replay is a little off on these levels. Okay, so we got one winner. So now we're in this neutral zone, but it might be turning into resistance. So let's see how it plays out. So again, you guys saw how it was resistance. I guess it was resistance and now it turned into neutral zone. So let's see what happens. Okay, so go back here. So this is, are these resistance levels lined up on replay mode? Okay, yeah, looks like it is. Okay, cool. Okay, so we've got a resistance here. I want to see a good rejection on it. And then we can put up a sell limit. Once we have that, we can take it down to this level. And this is going to be your TP1. This is going to be your TP2. No confirmation, broke through. So we're going to wait for this level. Or I guess we could, this gets more confirmation, we could put a buy limit here, take it up. Okay, so now we want price to go up into resistance. Okay, so now we want to see a rejection. No rejection yet. We can take this extension 2 trade maybe. Let's take this extension 2 trade. So you place the limit before seeing it retests. Yes. Basically, my limit is going to be open at the retest. We can cap. Didn't quite hit the TB. Okay, so we got another resistance on the 4 hour. See how it develops. Okay, so we got a good rejection here. It's not the best, but we could set up a short. Let me look at the daily. Yeah, I'd rather buy this, to be honest. I'm not going to sell this. So let's wait for price to come back down here. And potentially we could buy it. No good levels to buy right now. Okay, so that's a decent support. Let's see how price reacts. Okay, so we got a bullish engulfing away. Oh, not well. It's not really. It is engulfing, but it's not the best because this bearish candle is so big. Let me delete this guy. So we might be able to take it into this neutral zone though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my buy limit on this level. TP here. Stop loss on the extension if there's one. Yes, I'll put it below this. Stop loss hit. Daily. Yeah, we're super bearish. So if we can have a good daily close above the support, we could buy it. Let's see if we get it close above. Let's see what daily, not quite there. Okay, so if this daily kind of closes like this on the support, then we could set up a buy order. When does it close? Okay, shortly. Should be closed now. Okay, but I think we look at daily again. This stuff doesn't line up at all for some reason. What's 08812? Look, we got, okay, so we got 07871 here, and on the daily we got 08821. So that's why I'm getting a little confused. That's why things don't make sense. Okay, so I guess we have to stick with one time frame. We can't switch back and forth. Because usually what I do is I look for confirmations on a daily. Looks like these are not lined up though. So we got lots of levels here, so I'm going to ignore this because it's not accurate. I mean, it's kind of consolidating. Okay, let's watch this level here. Turning to N. So we could, let's put a buy limit. Here. I lost it again. We're getting owned, guys. 1 second, I have to mute someone. Okay. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Had before this Corona, not free on your part. This is okay, man. This is good learning. Just gotta wait for the right setup. Okay. The biggest thing is these don't line up, which sucks. So, but we're back on support now. So, see if we can buy this thing. If we get a good engulfing off of the support, then we can buy it. So it didn't come back down. Okay, so let's put a buy limit on this neutral. Okay, not sure what this is, doesn't show the levels. Okay, let's try this. So what I'm seeing is this was a low and then it's forming this higher low. And this bullish candle is going to close above our neutral level. So this is going to be our TP1 and this is going to be our TP2 up here. Okay, so TP1 hit, stop loss, break even. And then TP2 hit too. So that's a lot of times what I'm watching for is this kind of momentum. So when I see higher lows, that'd be a good time to buy. Okay, so you got, this is messy. Like you can see a big bearish candle and a big bullish candle. So I just need some more price action. Okay, so this is a little better. Big bearish moving away from the neutral level. So what we could do is, this is probably not going to be the best risk to reward. Let me check. That's okay, 1.6. So this would be our TP1, this would be our TP2, and our sell limit is up here. So sell limit triggered, TP1 hits, and now we would be stopped out at break even. price is just consolidating. So let's see. Let's wait for some more price action. Okay, so we got a bullish candle moving away from the support. Didn't quite break this this high, but we might be able, if it goes back, we might be able to catch a buy limit here. Take this as our TP1 and then take this as a TP2, and then put our stop loss below the extension 1. Okay, so didn't go into a buy limit, and that's fine. Back in this neutral zone. Price basically bouncing between these two levels. So what I'd love to see is a break above and then go up into this resistance. Okay, so we got a break. Now what we can do is set a buy limit. We can see this now full neutral zone. This would be our TP. We could put our, let me see if I can put a stop loss. I guess below here, this one. And then, yeah, so TP up here. And then this is going to be your TP1. That's going to be TP2. And our buy limit is down here. Let me clean this up a little bit here. Okay. Okay, so I'm probably not going to go down here. So let's, instead, what we can do is we can wait for rejection on this resistance. Okay, so we got a rejection. Going to put a sell limit up here. I guess we can keep this for now. Still play out. So put a sell limit here. TP1 is in this support, and then our TP2 is there. Want price to go up. This one is not going to go back up there so quick. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to stay out of this because you can see it's been ranging. There's no point to trade this when it's ranging. Unless it comes back into a support here, then that would be a good buy. Okay, so we got a good breakout here. Back above this level. So we could do, okay, this is going to be really wonky risk to reward. So this is like, I wouldn't take this trade on my account, on my live account, just so you guys know, but it's just as an example for you guys to see. So daily, yeah, so we might be able to hit that resistance. So this, I would put a buy limit here on this neutral level. This is my TP1, and up here, this is going to be my TP2. And my stop loss is up here. Like this is not a good risk to reward, but this would be. But I don't like these, because I'm day trading, so I don't like these big support levels. I mean, stop losses. Okay, so we could probably short this. Short it. Let's short it. Let's put our, actually never mind, because the support is right there. I don't want to sell into support. Okay, so this, or buy limit will be triggered now. I think it could still be valid. It could break lower into this zone again, but technically it should still hold. Let's see. Yeah, so TP1 hit, now it's going to TP2. TP2 hit as well. so this resistance might now be turning into neutral. So let's see if we get a nice breakout. That's a breakout. So let's wait what price does. This is our resistance. If we get a rejection here, we can sell it. Okay, so we can put a short up here. TP1 is going to be over here. TP2 is going to be here. Check the 1 hour for our stop loss. Stop loss. We could put it above extension 2. Oh, is this already? Oh, we're already in June, guys. That's how fast replay goes. So I guess this is a trade setup if you want to take it for today. That's what I would take. Because we're on resistance. It slowly might be turning into neutral, but it could bounce back into a neutral zone here. Because we had a good bull run, so technically it's retraced, retest this area. So if we get a rejection as resistance, then you know, maybe take this on demo if you want. Wow, we only took like, how many trades did we take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Around 8 to 10. Not sure how many were winners. I didn't keep track. But we had quite a few losers up here. I think 3 or 2. The good thing, so here's the thing. I'm not concerned about losing like 3 trades in a row because I'm always aware of my risk to reward. I usually have a risk to reward greater than 1 to 5. Usually greater than 1 to 1. So this one's 1.4, 1.4, 2, 2.19, 1.5, 1.4, 1.7, 1.6. This one's gonna be 1.62. That's like my day trading. I never take positions lower than 1.5 usually. So I know, you know, even if I lose a couple trades, I'm still gonna be in profit when I have 1 or 2 winners. So always keep that in mind. Yeah, so this is still resistance, even though it's above. You know, we could see price go all the way up here still to this. We can still see price go up here. It's just we are in the resistance right now, so it is slowly turning into neutral, but we can still see a drop from here. Let's have a look. Yeah, so this is right now a neutral resistance. We broke this resistance, but I wouldn't call this support just yet. I still feel like we have to go back. Let me delete this. I still feel like we have to go back into this neutral level to test it because we can see, you know, we had a good bull run. Usually when a high level is broken like this, we see a retest on it. Eventually, doesn't mean it's going to happen this week, but technically it should go back down here, retest, and then we could see another bull run to this level, to this resistance. If this level gets broken, we're going to go all the way up here. So that should be interesting. That means something really bad needs to happen in the States if that happens. But maybe tomorrow or something, maybe the riots in the States are going to calm down. And then we can see Euro fall again a little bit and USD strengthen. We'll see how that plays out. Usually, you know, news and stuff like that is priced in. So we'll see how it goes. So for this, in order to take this, what I would do is I want to wait for price to come back below my resistance. So I want to see a nice bearish engulfing below this resistance, and then you can take it down to this support or to this neutral zone. Most of the trades was in Corona time with high volatility, would it still work in normal market conditions? So if you're trading price and price is clean, doesn't matter what's going on, you can always trade it. These setups work anywhere. So if it's Corona time or if it's Bud Light time, you can trade it. Doesn't matter, as long as you follow the setups and you have a good risk to reward ratio or a high win rate, then it doesn't really matter. If price is messy, something like this, this is pretty messy. Like this is not the best place to trade. But you can see we still had some opportunities where we hit TP1 at least, not TP2. So, but if you're hitting TP1 like a couple times a week, that's still decent. Yeah, your win rate is going to be higher in normal conditions, like when there's no pandemic, when there's less random news coming out. So at that point, you would have a better win rate usually. But you can still trade pretty good if there's a pandemic. Because if you look, this was a great buy, like this buy up here, right? We were TB2. I know some Dojo students this week were also long on Euro USD. I think they took this. I know some students that took this week. You can see broke a break of this neutral zone, retest, and then went up to this resistance. I know there's some people shorting this right now, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah, I recommend you don't have too many pairs, even if you're swing trading. You just focus on the majors. So pick, like one NZD, one Euro pair, one GBP pair, one or two US pairs, and that's pretty much all you need. Because even if you look at some of the correlations, for example, let's see, maybe NZD, GPY, and AUD USD, right? Those two. They're not correlated, right? They're two different pairs, but they're moving similar right now, right? So if you look at it, so you'd still be overexposed if you use both, right? So you can see how they're trading the same, and pretty much the entire time. So don't think just because the pairs are different, the base pairs are different, that doesn't mean they're not correlated. Like money flows, like if money is coming into the forex market, right, it's going to go into the currencies. It doesn't really matter which ones. If you have something happening in the States, people are going to be moving into other currencies like NZD, AUD, etc. Right? So I'll always be aware that even though the base currencies are not the same, there's still some correlation. So that's why don't open too many positions. Keep, you try to have it to like 3 to 5 trades max. You don't really need more than 5 trades. I think if you go over that, it's going to be too much for swing trading. I don't do retests on extension trades. During day trading, what do you consider for placing stop loss with mode, X mode? I understand you take next level stop, but how far from level? Usually it's 20 pips roughly from the previous level. I think that's kind of the average. I just kind of use gut feeling. So I look at price, see how it interacts with the chart, where the level is. Usually I try to use an extension level. Those work best, or those work pretty well for stop losses. So putting them under the extensions, 20 pips roughly over the extension. This one's interesting too, this NZD trade. If you look at, so it's sitting on extension 1 right now. The last 4 hour didn't close above. We'll see what this 4 hour does. I don't think daily has a big resistance. Yeah, so it broke this level, which might turn into neutral support. So technically we should probably see price come down and touch this level and then go back up. But we'll see when that happens. We did get a bearish engulfing, but you can see it just bounced off this neutral level. So just gotta wait and see. Okay, that's it for this call. If you guys have questions, you can pop them into the group chat, and we'll get them answered there. If you guys want to jump on the dojo calls, we have some openings for this week, so you can check out the link in the group as well if you want to join the dojo. Where we go into all this stuff in more detail, we tell you exactly what setups to use. So other than that, yeah, we'll see you guys next week, Monday, for the next call, and then keep it up. Don't get too emotional about the drawdown. It's part of trading. As long as you don't open too many positions, you shouldn't be losing too much, and you definitely shouldn't be blowing any accounts. So if you're not blowing accounts, I mean that's a win, because most traders they just blow accounts. So if you follow the risk management from Breakfree Trading, you shouldn't be blowing accounts. And if you are, then you should get in touch, and we should look at your trading, because then you're doing something wrong. Okay, guys, have a good day. Bye.